Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so what we're looking for here is the possibility that we could be seeing some extension to the upside. So we're looking for this confirmation up towards this zone of this 2465. Sorry, I'm in Bitcoin mode still. Basically what we're looking for is a move up into this area, looking for a three-wave move down and then forming a bigger five-wave structure here. Obviously we don't have the structure at the moment to confirm this, but this is what we're still just tracking for as long as we hold these key support zones here of the 1611 and this 1722 to this 1657. If we do start to lose this lower range here, this 1657, it becomes less likely that this is going to be continuing to the upside in this manner, and we could actually be rather looking at that other option which we talked about within here, where this is actually a third wave, this is a fifth wave, and then we could be looking for a bigger move to the downside. So this could either be towards this 1587 to this 1458 if this is going to become a 1 and a 2, and then we're going to look to push to the upside. However, if this is going to be a bigger corrective structure, potentially where we're looking at this as a fifth wave of a bigger of this trending move, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it could actually mean that we have a bigger sell-off down to these lower ranges here. Looking at this move as an ABC, potentially coming back into this zone of this 1206 to this 1406. So we need to be aware there is still the potential that we drop down here. There is also that potential that this is the end of a corrective move and we might see a deeper move here, in which case we could actually look to challenge these 1073 levels. But for as long as we hold some of these key zones, we can continue to look for that upside. So we're going to discuss that now. We were talking about it previously in the video that this move here, technically speaking, we could have a flat correction here as an A, B, and a C, and it was just a running flat. What we then are looking for is that potential that this move could start to progress to the upside. So if we start to see good structure up here, potentially we could actually see this play out where we start to extend upwards here and look for the potential that actually we've set a low here at this zone of this 1713. So I'm going to go into the subwave counting of how that can go. However, it would potentially be, well, it would be more likely that we could actually see another drop here. And the reason why I'm saying that is just because of what I'm looking at with Bitcoin. Potentially we could have this as a W, this is an X, and then we're forming an ABC as a Y wave, where this becomes A, B, and then potentially C. So we're going to go over that as well. But basically what we want to see is this 1657 hold if we're looking at this as a 1 and a 2. If, however, we are looking at this as a fifth wave up in here, basically, really, we could move anywhere down to this 1458 area. So it could be interesting to come back down and retest some of these key zones, potentially would put us into that zone as well. This area of the 1695 to the 1657 would be a retest of this zone here. Yeah, so we need to just give it a bit of space and see how this plays out. If we do break down here, I am going to be looking at the bottom of this channel as well as a potential zone we could look to find support. But let's talk about that upside first, and then we'll go over some of the downside things we are looking at. Okay, so for as long as we hold above this low point here of the 1713, there is that possibility we could see this start to develop to the upside here, where this move here becomes a 1, 2, and then we look for a bigger third wave to the upside. So that third wave, that target zone for that would actually be up here towards this 1893. If we do start to move up here, obviously we're going to have some interesting levels of resistance here towards this 1830 and this 1857. Obviously, we need to be aware of forming a double top here. Could be a bearish sign, and we could actually look to break down from there. But if we do manage to get up towards this 1893 region and we start to get good five-wave structure up into this zone, what I'd then be looking for would be looking for this potential fourth wave and a fifth wave to the upside, which could look to actually push us up towards this 1932 to this 1908 region. What we'd have to see if we do develop a move like this is basically whether we do get a three-wave move back down and find support again and then look to push up. It's too early to say, but this is something that we're sort of just building a roadmap for. If we did get something like that, that could technically mean that we could look to see an additional third wave here, fourth wave, fifth wave, potentially looking to bring us back up towards this 2,241 to this 2,182 region. So, like I said, we need to maintain these key zones here in order for us to look for that. And within this current structure, we haven't quite met that one-to-one either to the downside. And sorry, that's the wrong fib. Let's try that again. Get onto this high, down into this low. So that one-to-one would actually be back here at the 1736. So if we do continue to move down, potentially we could look to find support at that 1736 level. Obviously, just below us, we do have the golden pocket, which we did just kind of briefly touch on to that 0.618, but we could see this come down, one more time into this zone. However, if we start to lose the 1731, it becomes less likely that there's going to be that continuation. And basically, once we lose 1712, it invalidates the idea of this being a 1 and 2 looking to push up in this bigger third wave here. So this is what we're looking for if we want that bullish case. The other ones are still bullish, provided that the support holds. But what we need to be aware of here is that within the structure, we could still see something like this. And we did talk about this yesterday, potentially this being an A, B, and then a C. So the ABC could be completed into this point here, in which case, we could be looking to form an X wave here. So even if we did get a move up towards the zone of this 1836, in a corrective way, where this becomes an A wave, we get a B wave down here, and we push up for a C wave. That would potentially bring us back into some of these key areas. It would also be a test of the bottom of this channel again, and that could actually lead for us to actually get a continuation to the downside still. And that would be basically looking at this whole move as rather instead of an A, B, C completed, this could develop into a bigger W, X, and a Y. So the key thing here is if we did get a move like this, potentially what we could see is a move back down to these levels, maybe forming a triple bottom here towards a 1706. Or alternatively, if this does look to progress down, potentially it could come down lower. So what I'm also looking for here is rather instead of looking at this as an ABC pattern here, we could also argue that within this, we have something like this, where this is an A, this is a W and X, and then we're looking for a Y wave to the downside. So if we do move actually and start to break directly down here, potentially what we could see is this play out. So I'm actually just going to remove some of these key support areas out of here. And what I'm looking for here is that potential that instead of looking at this as a bigger ABC as a flat, we could see this be like I said, this could be a W, this could be an X, and then we get a Y. Well, alternatively, we could have this as a W, X, and then now we're starting to form that Y wave. So if we do look at this rather as starting to form the Y wave from here, what I would be looking out for is potentially a move down towards the zone of the 1674. And they would be looking out for this move basically developing in this manner where this becomes an A, B, and a C for a Y wave. And then basically from the beginning here, would have a W, X, and Y to the downside. And that could actually look to push us down into that support zone again. And actually towards the 702 range. If we do come deeper, the 786 might be a potentially interesting area as well at the 1657 zone. So this could be looking to actually retest the channel here. Once we start to lose the 1657, though, we need to be a little bit cautious that we aren't going to actually have a deeper breakdown within this move. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. If we do manage to hold these key zones, we could either look to find that we have a push to the upside in a C wave here, and then we look to move towards this 1836. Alternatively, we could actually see, that this becomes a 1-2, and then we start to progress up here, and we look to move higher towards this 1893. If we do cross that, then we look start tracking that bigger five-wave structure. Until we do, though, we need to be aware this is our rejection zone, this 1825 to this 1783. We have rejected off of that 0.618. So if we do continue to show signs of weakness here, it could actually mean that we're starting to have a direct sell-off here, and this could be then an A, a B, and then we're looking for the C wave to come down towards this zone of the 1674. However, if it does actually start to break down more impulsively, we'd need to be cautious. A move past this 1611 area would invalidate that additional 1 and a 2 option here, and could actually mean that what we have is a bigger five-wave structure developing to the downside. So the downside moves need to be watched here. If we see something down through these levels, we'd have to start looking out for additional fourths and fifths, which could look to actually bring us down much deeper within this. So looking at this purely as arguing that it's a flat correction, the 1.618 of that A wave would actually be down here towards the 1648 as well. Obviously, the problem is within this, if we were looking at this as a 1 and a 2, that would look to push this much lower. So I'm just going to throw on the other target areas. So 2.618 would not be off the cards really. That would be here towards this 1530. So if this is a bigger flat correction where we're actually going to get an extension within the C wave and it's going to push down deeper than this typical 1.618, this 1530 area could be quite an interesting zone because it would actually also tie in with coming into this support range here. It would be in the golden pocket retest of this channel line, and potentially looking to come back and fill some gaps lower down here. So this is something we need to be aware of. This is still a possibility. If we start to sell off deeper here, we could see a five-wave move to the downside. So the thing we'd have to be cautious here of is if we do develop as a bigger five-wave structure here, something like this, 1, 2, down into the zone 3, 4, 5, potentially come back into this. If this is a flat, what we want to see is this move come back up and take these highs. For as long as we fail to do that, we'd have to just be cautious that within here we aren't getting a bigger structure where, this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. Then we get a three-wave move up like we've been talking about, and then we see another five-wave move down, which could actually look to bring us back into these lower ranges here of this 1406 to this 1206, and invalidate that potential of looking for extension to the upside from this low here of this 1368. Once we start to lose that, it becomes, it is possible, like I said, that this is an end of a five-wave structure, and then we'd have to watch this lower range here with keen eyes. Basically, if we fail to hold this 1206, what this would indicate to me is that potentially rather we are looking for continuation here, and could be even looking to moving down towards this 723 to this 523 area, or even as low as this 400, depending on how we want to count the move from the top. So this is going to be our key zone. We need to hold this. Loss of this zone, basically, that really puts some bullish counts under strain here and could actually indicate that we're going to see a much deeper sell-off to the downside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, there are affiliate links for both Primex BT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.